Here for our November recommendation meeting. And we have first item on the agenda. The first item on the agenda is the approval of 4 sets of minutes.
I've moved to accept as they were presented by court clerk.
Okay, I have one insignificant correction to the text amendment, and that is page 3, line 11. I think the word satisfy at the end of that word should be the word shortly. I've read these pretty carefully because of significance. So,
What line?
line 11, page 3. Satisfy makes no sense. And since I made the comment, it doesn't shock me, but but we make her the motion in a second.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Shortly.
Shortly, okay. You'll satisfy it shortly.
Yeah. Mr. Ketter made the motion, and then was that Mr. Murphy that seconded it?
Yeah.
Okay. So no further discussion. Let's take a voice vote. All in favor of approving those minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to let's dispose of the Summit Avenue case. That's Z22 046. It's 1 South 410 Summit Avenue, York Township petition. We have there's some activity occurring with respect to that petition. So the petitioner has requested that we table this, namely, as I'm told, they may annex, taking it out of our jurisdiction. So can I have a motion to table that item?
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ketter, second by Ms. Anderson. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we have the Steeple Run elementary case, that's C22 041. Can I have a motion on that case?
Whose area?
It's mine.
It's Ms. Anderson's.
I'll make a motion that.
Can you speak up a little bit? I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the request by District 203.
Okay, a motion to grant the petition by Ms. Anderson. Is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Mr. Murphy. Discussion.
I will be against this. I don't think the presentation met the elements necessary to grant a conditional use and a variance. There was nothing with the variance other than they decided they needed 2 separate entrances for the kids. I think that there might have been a way to do it, but the presentation fell far short of what I feel is necessary to grant this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It's not just the presentation. I mean, the concept of the school addition. There was questions about. I mean, there's some internal circulation issues that to me compromise safety for kids. The question of can you build up instead was not satisfactorily responded to. So I have to oppose it.
Mr. Chairman, I will be voting no also, even though we always say in the affirmative the petition, but I will be voting no. So,
Okay. Is there any further discussion?
will we do it a different way, Barry?
No, wait, you're going to be voting
Well,
no?
voting no. We just made an affirmative.
Make a motion to.
I don't know.
She wanted to make a motion in the affirmative
affirmative.
to get it moving, but she's going to vote.
Okay.
Okay, so would you call the roll on the motion, please?
Member Anderson,
No.
member Murphy.
Yes.
Member Moran,
No.
member Cutter,
No.
member Schultz,
No.
Chairman Carto.
No, so the motion fails. We should probably take a substitute motion.
I'll make it. I would make. Can you?
Go ahead.
No, it's your township.
All right, go ahead, yeah.
I vote that we deny the petition, for Steeple Run Elementary School to.
I'll second that.
Motion to deny by Ms. Anderson, seconded by Mr. Ketter. I think the discussion stands for the last motion, so unless anybody wants to add something.
What is the motion on the floor?
Motion to deny.
Deny.
Okay.
Then would you please call the roll?
Member Anderson,
Yes.
member Cutter,
Yes.
member Moran,
Aye.
member Murphy,
No,
member Schultz,
Aye.
Chairman Carto.
Aye. Motion to deny passes by a vote of 5 in favor, 1 opposed. That takes us to the Herrick Lake Equestrian petition.
I move we approve it subject to the conditions that we have outlined.
For a second to that motion, Mr. Murphy
second
makes
it.
a motion to approve, second by Mr. Moran. Discussion on this motion.
I just like to make some comments. One of the problems I had, the presentation went on and on about 25-year history. And then the first witness that gets up to testify said, well, I've been there over 7 years. We only have 1 horse. The second point is, I think it was finally acknowledged by Mr. Haas, I believe, was right. The agricultural fell because the amount of property over the fight dispute, whatever you want to call it, between owners, put it out under the minimum for agriculture. Those are my problems with this. I think that if we're going to go ahead, the conditions laid out, there are other conditions and concerns I have. And I'll put them out so you guys can just think about it. You have 18 stalls for 18 horses, you put 18 horses in there. There's been nothing in the way other testimony other than they need 1 trailer there pretty much permanently. But you could end up with 18 trailers and it become a trailer parking lot. My other concern. They've already said no equestrian shows, that's fine. The testimony, it just seems to me overall, the conditions that we need to put on there, we have to be more specific. But we're starting to get into, and this is what concerns me, and that's why one of my votes on the school. People come for conditional use, they do a limited presentation, and we start restructuring the demands and that by conditions. I don't know how you put conditions on something that wasn't really brought up, and that's starting to be a concern to me. And I'll think about this as I hear the rest of the testimony or, comments by the board.
Well, my own view is similar. Again, the first witness who says they've been there for quite some time, my recollection is that she indicated, gee, it'll really be great to have some, greater number of people to meet as new friends and riding companions, etc. So it doesn't appear that 18 horses have been there for this considerable period of time. Secondly, I'm not sure that, we take things kind of as a greenfield concept. So whether or not they've been operating with 18 horses in violation since the property was subdivided is not that great a consequence to me. Here's my view. There is some preference to be given to a conditional use when in accordance with our Illinois Supreme Court precedents, but that doesn't mean conditional use for 18 horses. It means a conditional use for the principle of recreational use. So I think there's a significant distinction there. So my view is this simply doesn't work. The presentation didn't satisfy all the elements to persuade me that conditional use should be granted. And I think, as Mr. Ketter said, I don't want to start redesigning or creating conditions that will go to the development committee and the county board. I want to vote up and down, up or down on the case that the petitioner presents to us. So I would oppose this petition. Anybody else want to make?
Well, I pretty much agree with what you're stating. I think ultimately, if we're going to make a case, this property should be different than just a residential property with horses. Since the county board has already expressed an interest in controlling the amount of animals, generally speaking, that's something that should come from the county board. So the county board should establish, in my view, that this property should be able to hold 10 horses, 20 horses, whatever the number is. That should be their determination. So I'm voting no.
Can I add a little bit? Yeah. I just had trouble with the fact that the biggest objector, Mr. Borawiak, and I don't want to say helped cause the problem, but he helped, because I'm not looking at it as a problem, but he was the biggest objector. The other objectors brought up speeding, traffic. None of that has to do with what's going to happen on that property, because Butterfield Road, we all know people speed on there. That's not the petitioner's problem. That's the law's problem. So a lot of the things that were brought up, I think this is probably a good spot for it. It's near all the Illinois Prairie Path, the Forest Preserve. There's a lot of areas to take your horses on. And on my own personal side, I love seeing a little more horses on the Illinois Prairie Path. So I just thought, and don't take me wrong, I understand your problem, but you also started this with them and then it split up. So for that fact, I'm still going to go for the petition. Thank you.
Okay. So if there's nothing else. We have a motion to approve. Can we call the roll on the motion to approve?
Member Murphy,
Yes.
member Moran,
Aye.
member Cutter,
No.
member Schultz,
No.
member Anderson,
Aye.
Chairman Carthel,
No. So the vote is 3-3 and will go forward to the county development committee with no recommendation because it requires 4 in order to have an affirmative recommendation. So that's it. We don't have anything else this evening. Do we have any public comment this evening? Sorry,
none submitted via online. I'm not sure for the,
it's submitted online.
none submitted online. I'm not sure with the public.
Oh, well, the public comment is not about these cases. It's a general public comment about anything under the sun.
Okay, about the cases,
No.
I didn't understand that to be the rule.
Do you have something, sir?
Just a SummerCom, I was gonna give some more information to you and make a comment
About what?
about the traffic studies.
If you could step up to the
You
podium.
gotta step up. Mr. Daniel, did you say, what was your question?
I asked if public comment could touch on one thing that was stated.
Yeah.
Related to a case.
Yes, you can, I thought you said, does it have to be about these cases?
So could it include something like that?
Okay, I'll go to you next.
Do you want me to state my name?
Yes.
Sharma, SHARMA, 1025 Victoria Lane, Glendale Heights. It's about the SummerCom case, public comment. I disagree with the traffic study that was done by KLOA, page 9. I have from DuPage County Department of Transportation, the exact accidents that were done in the last 5 years. I can present it to the board if that's possible. These are from DuPage County website.
What's it relative to?
Well, they did a traffic study and the information on page 9 is incorrect. They're saying there was only 3 accidents in a 5-year time frame, but there are 41 accidents on Main and Cross Street.
Okay, we're not gonna respond. This is just public comment.
Okay, that's my
So
comment.
you can make your comment and your information would be transmitted to the level above us, but not to us. So we're not gonna.
All right, can I give this information though? This is the real
Sure.
traffic.
Sure. Presented.
For the record, these are the real accidents that happened on Main and Pond Street for the last 5 years, 41 accidents.
Okay. Don't give it to us, just give it to this.
All right, so I'll make a few more comments. I'll be on my way. The next time I want to make is there has been no air and noise pollution study. The residents of Glendale Heights would like a copy from Silvercom claiming that there's no impact to air quality. In the testimony, we had no employee from Silvercom come in and state the purpose and the use of the facility or give any employee testimony. Second part I want to make, I said it to Jessica, they applied for an EPA land permit. In the testimony, they said they're not storing any commodities, but we have no information from them what they're storing or why they have applied for EPA land permits for the state of Illinois. Third point, which I gave, there needs to be a traffic light on Main Pond Street for the safety of the public. I think with 41 accidents and so many bad situations happening, people getting hurt, that we definitely need stop light on Main Pond Street. I reached out to DuPage County Department of Transportation to put that up there. Number 4, traffic study does not have civil engineering study. We don't know if they can even accommodate the traffic because the traffic study does the counts, but there's no civil engineering study on the road. Pond Street is a rural road. Last point, the highest public use of the land is residential. There's nothing industrial about it. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Okay, anybody else? Mr. Daniel?
I promise I'll be brief, marketing of the NIEL. Regarding the consideration on Barrett Lake, there was a comment made to the effect that the properties were divided and lost their 5-acre status. That never happened. I just want to be clear on that. So they understand there were always 2 separately owned tracts of land that together comprised the 5 acres. And therein lies the dispute with the county because they removed some of that land that was creditable to the use, which is why the use has continued over the years since the 2 individuals involved in the trust that owned 1 lot had their dispute. So I just wanted to be clear on that. I don't know if it affects anyone's decision, but that is a circumstance that's raised that is reflected. I think to perfect clarity with the deeds we provided by the deadline on the 25th and 26th of October. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's no further public time.
Good evening, members of the DuPage County Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is Eric Michelle, Michel, 5245 Burnham Street in Lisle. I'm here tonight with my children, Rainey and Hartley Michelle, to express our support for the proposed $8 million addition to Cedar Run Elementary School. Over the past decade, Cedar Run Elementary School has experienced tremendous growth in the number of students served, leading to overcrowding in the 24 regular sized classrooms in the school, which can accommodate 25 to 30 students, and 1 smaller size classroom, which can accommodate up to 20 students. Enrollment projections indicate a need for 26 to 30 classrooms as we move into the future. As an active and involved parent at the school, I've witnessed firsthand the challenges faced by all Cedar Run stakeholders when non-traditional areas are used as learning spaces. Frankly put, teaching class in closets and storage spaces places strain on teachers and students and negatively impacts the learning environment. Administrators and teachers have worked creatively and admirably to carve out the limited space, but this short-term strategy is not sustainable. Accordingly, we're here tonight to voice our support for the proposed project, which would add 4 additional regular-sized classrooms with the capacity to accommodate roughly 120 students, increased instructional and office space, support breakout rooms, additional restrooms, and enhanced storage space. We recognize that you just voted no on this, But we think it's important for you to hear from some very impacted constituents. So in closing, I'd like my children, Rain and Hartley, have drafted statements that they would like to read about how.
Just introduce them for the record.
Oh, great. I'd like to introduce Rainey Michelle for the record. Same last name, Michel, and then Hartley.
Yeah. I have written statements from them.
I do, yeah.
Well, ordinarily, public comment is made by means of written statements. So you want to just make them as exhibits, or do you want your? I mean,
They can read them tomorrow, but
I know they can read, because they get a great education at Steeple Run. Do you want, I mean, is there some value in you? Okay, why don't you read?
I mean, they learning experience. Sure.
Well, that's why we're here.
Hello, my name is Rainey Michelle, and I'm a fifth grade student in the English-Spanish dual language program at Steeple Run Elementary. I've been a student at Steeple Run since first grade. I would like to share with you how my experience has changed over the last 4 years. When I started at Steeple Run in first grade, there was a lot of space for all the students and the extracurricular activities in the school, like art, music, library, and PE. But as we started getting more and more students, the school started running out of space. So much so that the art teacher had to move out of the classroom for a year, and our music teacher still has not gotten her classroom back. Music class is now held on the stage in the gym, which is very loud because other students are at PE in the same time. And it's always either very hot or ice cold. While our music teacher has tried her hardest to make it like our original music room, it still cannot compare to the sunny, beautiful room she used to have. This year, I am in Miss Kolzik's fifth grade classroom. We have 21 students in my class, and this is a very big problem because our room is the smallest classroom in the entire school. Its small size makes it very difficult to do anything when we are not at our desks, and when we are at our desks, we are elbow to elbow with 2 other people instead of into row, which makes it hard to move around the room. In the future, if there are more children than 21 in this classroom, we may be forced to try to learn in the hallways. It would help our school a lot if we were able to get this addition for both regular and extracurricular activities. Please vote yes on this project. Thank you for your time. Hello, my name is Hartley Michelle, and I am in first grade, a first grade student in the English Spanish dual language program at Steeple Run Elementary School. This is my second year at Steeple Run. I think we need more space in Steeple Run in the classroom because we have 26 students in my classroom. It is super squished right now. Could we please have more space? It would be a lot better if we also had another bathroom in the school. Sometimes there is a long line and another bathroom would allow us to be able to go back to class, library, or our bathroom. Please vote yes on the Steeple Run project. Thank you.
Thanks very much. We'll close the hearing. Thank you very much, everyone.